Good morning YouTube, it's Lynn from Perth. I've had a little bit of a shifty round out here, and for a small change it's made a huge difference. About a month, or actually closer to 2 months ago now, I found this bit of green false grass, imitation grass on the road, and I brought it in. I just chucked it in a corner, but then I put it out, and when I started walking on it, because I sit on this back step and I have my cup of tea and I look at my plants, and I thought, gee, this is nice and soft and it's cool, and the cat likes to sleep on it too. So I rang the company that sells this stuff and asked them if they had any offcuts, and sure they did. So this is about 11 square metres. It's in 3 pieces, so I just had to cut it and fit it to size. But it's made such a difference, and for an $80 investment, I think it's made a huge, huge improvement. The matting that I had down before was getting old and slippery, and I kept slipping on it to the extent where I actually had a fall, and I landed with my arm quite heavily on this movable trolley here, which is holding about a dozen plants. So that gave me a nasty bruise, and I thought, right, it's got to go, it's going to be dangerous for me. So I lifted it all up, threw it away, and I've put this down, and it's just wonderful. This end piece here I've put down the wrong way. I should have reversed it because the nap's going in a different direction, but it doesn't really matter. And if I hadn't have told you, you probably wouldn't have noticed. But it's just nice and cool. Although having said that, we've got a nice cool day today. It's just over 20 degrees, it's cloudy, and we've actually got some humidity. I think that might be 60%, which is really good for WA, really good. So everything's looking quite nice out here at the moment. This is my Walden Garden. These plants here, they're not really rescued, but they were donations to the Orchid Club, which I had to go and get about an hour distance away, and I've repotted them, and some of them are really quite nice, but it's from a deceased estate and they hadn't been looked after for a couple of years, so looks like I'll have to keep hold of them for a while and just get them back to looking good. But my plant stand, the plants up here are doing really well. They're nice and green and lush. And this one, I don't know if we've ever talked about this one. I got this at the Northern District's Orchids. This is Guatemalensis. It's a natural hybrid, so it will be classed as a species, and I can take it to the Species Society. But since I've brought it home, I've got beautiful, beautiful new growths. There's one there. There's another. And actually, because I had 3 plants and it was a bit difficult bringing them all home, I actually knocked a couple of new shoots off this plant. But down here, you can see where I knocked them off from this one here. They're starting to shoot at the side there. And even the new growths have got new shoots coming as well, so that's going to be quite a specimen plant when it flowers. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be during the summertime. During the winter time. The babies, they're coming along, but I have lost a few. All my phallus and not water plants, but the ones that I've got trying to raise humidity, they're doing okay. Nothing spectacular, but they're still alive. These are the raffle plants for the next meeting I'm going to, and I won these at a raffle in the Species Society. This is Terrastylus recurva. They're bulbs, because this is a terrestrial, I think it's a WA, I'm not sure if it's a WA, but it's an Australian one, so I will plant those up, get those in some media, and hopefully they will flower for me when it's their season. I'll just pop this one up. I don't know if you've ever seen these things. This is a hanger. You can't really see it up there. I'll show you one. But watch what I'm doing here. I'm actually pushing that up, and it'll click into place, and now it's about 2 feet higher than it was when I walked up to it. So they're pretty great. I've been using those for a long time, so I can actually pull the plant down if it's going to comply with what I'm doing. So here it comes, we're bringing it down. So now that's sort of my height, and I can water it much easier. But I just forgot to put it up after I finished watering. So there it is, back in its spot up near the roof. And that's only up that high because my Hoya is travelling down towards the ground. So what have I got here? For some reason my Stanhopea oculata didn't flower this year, or hasn't put out a spike. Let's go underneath the pot. No, I can't see anything. But normally this time of the year it's just about ready to bloom. So it hasn't done so, but it had a fantastic blooming cycle last year, so maybe it's just having a year off. Now I'm going to show you what I've done with my Lodigessii. I've layered it around the pot because it looked like this one. It did look like this one. They were going off in all directions. But the nature of growth with the Lodigessii is they have hundreds and hundreds of keikis, and they just thicken up the canes. But what I've done, I've layered it around the pot, and I've kind of staked it. I've just made these little just bits of metal, so I've pushed those in to get the roots down into that bit of sphagnum I've put on top, because I want them to sort of grow up, and like this one's starting to stand up now, and I only did this a few days ago. Let me go with the other hand. So that one there, where's my finger there? It's starting to stand up, and even this one's starting to look a bit better. So, and I've got one out in the front shade house which is doing really well. They're all standing up. So I'm trying to do it with all of them. This one over here is a little bit, it's too thick and I don't want to break it. So I'm going to leave that one, let that go au natural. So that's that section there. And I bought this one. We had a species home visit at our orchid nursery, which is Easy Grow, on Saturday, and I bought this little cattleya. It's its first bloom. It's a seedling. If you'd like to know what it's called, I can show you. Is that upside down? Yes. I haven't got my glasses on as per usual, so I can't see what I'm doing. No, it was right the first time round. Can you see that? That says White Bridal Juki, Juki. Whoops. So it's quite pretty, and I only bought it because it was in flower. In actual fact, it was out of the pot, so I got it for $10 instead of $15. And what else have I got here? Just a few seedlings. Really, most of this should go round to the front area, but I'm just too lazy to take it around. I've got a nice little oncidium somewhere in spike. Where is it? This one. So I'm going to get a flower here soon. Let's have a look at what that one is. Pacific Paranoia, other side of Cool. This is quite a nice one. I've got two of these. I'm just hoping the other one that's out the front is in spike too. I haven't been out there for a while. So yes, everything's looking quite nice. My mounts seem to be doing nicely despite the heat they've been subjected to. This little Brassavola type, only a single flower, but at least it's flowered for me. That's Nodosa crossed with Aurantiaca, and it's called Brasanthe Bill Worsley. What else? This one I'm taking to Northern Districts Orchid Society. You saw this one in bloom about 2 months ago, and I'm going to take it in because I don't know how to repot it. You can see that the pseudobulbs here are climbing up on each other. I've got no idea how to repot that without dividing this plant, and the guy I bought it from said don't split it yet. So I'm taking it in and we're going to have a demonstration. He's going to repot it for me and show me how to do it, plus all the other new members that don't know how to repot a plant with this growing pattern. Oh, look, there's a nice new shoot just there. Get out of the way, Leaf, just here where my finger is trying to point at there. And yes, another one round here coming out. So he can teach me a little bit about this plant. And if you want a reminder on what it's called, there's the label. It's an Epicatlia Burdekin Emerald crossed with Laelia Orantibescant. Yes, so looking forward to that. I might even try and film it, but we'll see what happens. Now this one have to have a brag here. This plant, it's this came from the Eastern States. The club has got quite a lot of money. This is the Orchid Society of WA. We've got good good funds in our club. So because of this, the club bought us all a Christmas present, and it's the Cooktown Orchid. So it's Dendrobium by Gibbon. And the plan is that the first one to bloom this plant, I don't know if we're going to get money or get another prize or another orchid, but look at this. This is way, it's either months too late or months too early. So could be I'm the first one who's going to bloom their Cooktown Orchid. This is a native from Queensland. That's why it's called the Cooktown Orchid. But its name is a little bit of a misnomer because it doesn't actually occur in Cooktown, but just very near. I believe I'm correct in saying that. I can't remember 100%, but yeah, so I could be the first one to take in flower. We've got a meeting this Friday. I don't think it will actually be out, but I will be taking it along. So they've actually got physical evidence that mine is about to flower. Plus I've sent some of the committee, of which I'm part of, a photo and said, look, here we go. Am I the first? Hopefully. I'd better cut this video off now because I've gone for 12 minutes. I don't know if it will upload, but we'll give it a go. So that's my new facelift, and I love it. See you again soon.